On our Aberdeen side, welcome to the National Western Stock Show again, and welcome to Denver, and welcome to the Whitwer Arena. We are so blessed to have this great facility to be able to exhibit our cattle, and we want to thank everyone for coming and visiting the National Western. As we begin our National Aberdeen Show, we had a great day yesterday showing our bulls, and we look forward to working with our Aberdeen breeders again today in our female show. At the conclusion of our female show, we will be showing our Gets of Sire and also our Supreme Champion. So we'll bring back our percentage and our full-blood bulls from yesterday to compete against our females. So as we begin our show again today, we have a single entry. So if you guys are ready to go, let's rock and roll. As we begin our National Aberdeen Show, we have a single entry in Class 101. Single entry. This is summer full-blood heifer calves. And once again, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our judge for our National Aberdeen Show. This is Mr. Kyle Perez from Narravisa, New Mexico. Kyle is an animal science graduate from Kansas State University, and while Kyle was at Kansas State, he competed on the national competitive livestock team while in Manhattan. Kyle and his family own and operate one of the truly great seed stock Hereford and Angus programs in the United States, supplying seed stock through their 2 annual bull sales, February right there at the ranch in Narravisa, and then they haul bulls to Columbus, Texas, where they host their fall bull sale. Kyle, along with his wife, Tanya, have twin children, Libby and Peyton, are both 9 years old. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you would please join with me and give a bigger round of applause to Mr. Kyle Perez from Narravisa, New Mexico.
Well, in the first class here today, certainly a high-quality individual to be a single entry, female that balances up very well from the side. I like the strength atop that she offers. She's long and level in terms of hip. She's sound in terms of structure. Again, a female that's very efficient and very productive in her own right.
Thank you, Judge. Placing first in Class 101 in our Aberdeen National Show is entry 4019. This is N.E. Karma, a June 1st daughter of MCR Ladies Man, exhibited by Adrian and Glenn Card, Billerica, Massachusetts. Entering the ring now is Class 102. These will be summer full-blood heifer calves, calved between May 1st and May 31st, 2022. Following this class, we will be selecting our summer champion full-blood heifer calf and reserve.
really nice class here, three females. The one that's got the presence and the design and the profile and their overall thickness and dimension is a heifer that's going to win the class. Very highly presented, a heifer that is really neat and attractive up through that front end. I like the strength of top that she has. She's really good in terms of her squareness to her hip. Her structure's nice, the set to her hind legs nice, and particularly that's where she places over the heifer here in second, is the way she handles herself off that hip and down into that hind leg and in that rear pastern. The heifer here in second is a really good female on her own right. I like the rib, the body, the width, the substance that she has. Perhaps if we could change her in her hock and from her hock down to the ground, that we'd do that if we could. But in terms of function and production, that's a nice heifer to go second. Really like the straightness of lines and the attractiveness of the heifer here in third. Perhaps when you get in front of this heifer or behind her, she doesn't have near the width or gauged with near as much mass or production as the heifers that go directly ahead of her. If we could stouten her up, she's awfully good in terms of lines.
Thank you, Judge. Placing first in Class 102, Summer Full-Blood Heifer Calves, goes to entry 4096, Easy Crystal 33K, a May 3rd daughter of Easy Bullseye 15B, exhibited by Winston McGregor Anthony, Chichester, New Hampshire. Second in that class is entry 4006, MBB Seductress. She's a May 1st daughter of CTL Kingpin 2C, exhibited by Bishop Farms, Rudy, Arkansas. And third is entry 4082, ILC Kathy 210K, exhibited by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. We're now ready to select our champion full-blood summer heifer calf and reserve.
As we get our class winners back out here, there's differences in these cattle. I do like the structure in both of these class winner and females. They're sound in terms of their feet and legs. There's just a difference in terms of design and balance and elegance, and that goes to the heifer that won the second class. She'll be your division champion. The way you analyze her about her head and her neck, the way her neck comes out of the top side of her shoulder, she lays in smoother at the point of shoulder. I do see a little more depth of flank and rear rib in this heifer, and again, we really like her in terms of structure. She'll be your division champion. It becomes closer between the second place out of the second class and the class winner, but I still think that we got a soundness advantage in terms of the red heifer, in terms of the way she drives and handles off that hind leg. Again, she's really good in terms of top line. The red heifer will be your reserve champion here today.
Selected as your champion summer full-blood heifer calf is entry 4096. That is Easy Crystal 33K, exhibited by Winston McGregor Anthony, Chichester, New Hampshire. And your reserve summer full-blood heifer calf champion is entry 4019, N.E. Karma, exhibited by Adrian and Glenn Card, Billerica, Massachusetts. We're ready now for Class 103. Class 103, late spring full-blood heifer calves. Please enter the ring, Class 103.
Well, next class here, females, I'm going to start with the heifer that strikes me as the soundest structured heifer. I do like her in her mobility and the way she gets out of her front end, the way she handles her hip and her hind leg. She's a nice female that you get in front or behind this heifer. She's got some true dimension down her top. She's got some width out through her hip and her stifle. Just very functional in terms of kind. I do appreciate her rib, her body, and her substance. The heifer that closely follows her in terms of some width and some dimension is the one here in second. You get up on top of this heifer. She's got some top shape to her. She's got some width back through that hip. Again, she bases away wide from behind, and that's where her advantage is over the heifer in second, or third. The heifer here in third, I do appreciate her rib and her body and her sweep to her rib cage, perhaps over the one in second. When you get right in behind this heifer, she really wants to narrow up at the hock and doesn't have near as much shape back into that hip and lower stifle, but certainly in terms of rib and body and function, a nice female. Again, a really striking heifer that comes in fourth. You like her levelness of lines or the way her neck comes out of the top side of her shoulder. Again, just a little flatter in her overall design. You see it in terms of the width of her chest and back into her stifle, just flatter in her overall makeup. The young man's heifer certainly is a long-sided performance female, but in terms of feet and legs and structure, would like to change his heifer, especially off those hind two.
To bring you back up to speed on our class placings, in our Aberdeen show, first went to entry 4018. This is DTR Vena 05K, an April 28th daughter of Easy Gunsmoke 12G, exhibited by A&W Cattle, Haviland, Ohio. Second goes to entry 4050, UF Miss Sassy 42C, an April 20th daughter of UF My Opinion Matters, shown by University of Findlay, Ohio. Third goes to entry 4015, shown by Top Line Aberdeen Cattle Company, Monroe, Washington. Fourth, entry 4081, shown by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. And fifth, entry 4043, shown by Francisco Lewis, Parker, Colorado. In the ring now is Class 104. Class 104, spring full-blood heifer calves, calved March 1st to March 31st.
Really competitive class here on this side of the ring. All these females are very useful in terms of their kind and their build, and the presentation level is very high on all four of these females, so I commend the exhibitors. The heifer that I'm going to use to win the class, to me, puts the most good together. She's very striking from the side. I appreciate the added length of top that she has. Her neck comes out of her shoulder well. She's good in terms of her feet and legs. She's adequate in terms of thickness and body. This blends together very nicely from the profile, and I think a nice place to start. I do appreciate the rib and the body and the substance that we have in the heifer that's in second. She's very sound in terms of structure. Again, maybe not quite the overall presence of the heifer that wins the class, but certainly a good female that is very functional and very right in terms of her kind. Again, I like the presence of the heifer here in third awful lot. If I could change the way that she drives and plants off that hind leg, like to see a little more flexibility in that one if we could. But in terms of balance and design and her lines, she's awful nice in that regard. The heifer that comes next, again, is very high quality in her own right. Again, maybe like to gauge her a little wider if we could. This give her a little more substance all the way through. But again, a very nice four females. Congratulations to those exhibitors.
Placings in Class 104 in our Aberdeen National Full Blood Show. First went to entry 4079. ILC Candy 202K, a March 31st daughter of MCR Kingpin, exhibited by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. Second goes to entry 4053. UF Miss Star 26K, a March 18th daughter of TCS Picture Perfect 20F, exhibited by University of Findlay, Ohio. Third goes to entry 4042, shown by Banner County Ranch, Gehring, Nebraska. And fourth entry 4054, shown by University of Findlay, Ohio. Following this Class 105 single entry, we will be selecting our champion junior full-blood heifer calf and reserve.
Nice single entry here, heifer that appreciate her for added style and balance and correctness. I like the added length that she has. Perhaps when she came in the ring, she's not wanting to really flex off those rear pasterns quite as nice. But in terms of her levelness and her design and her attractiveness, she's really good in that standpoint.
single entry in our Aberdeen National Show, single entry Class 105. Your class winner is entry 4052. UF Miss Star Celebrity, a February 17th daughter of TCS Picture Perfect 20F, exhibited by the University of Findlay, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready to select our junior and reserve junior full-blood heifer calf. Your champion junior full-blood heifer calf was entry 4079. This is ILC Candy 202K, exhibited by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. And your reserve junior full-blood heifer calf was entry 4053, UF Miss Star 26K, exhibited by the University of Findlay, Ohio. In the ring now is Class 107, senior full-blood heifer calves.
Well, in this particular class here, little differences in terms of the way these heifers are designed, but the heifer that's going to win the class, I think, is a combination heifer that does so in terms of balance and design and structure, and she just kind of puts it all together in this particular class. The heifer that's in second is perhaps the bigger framed of the pair. She's longer, she's more extended, but with that, again, maybe not as much rib and body and flank as the heifer that goes directly ahead of her, but certainly like her for attractiveness and her overall substance of bone. That's probably where she excels. The heifer here in third is her amount of bone and substance in this overall dimension. The heifer here in third, I do like her rib and her body and her moderation, but with that, she's a female that probably needs to be changed structurally as we watch her go, especially off those hind two.
Over on our Aberdeen ring, your class winner in Class 107 and selected as your senior full-blood heifer calf champion is entry 4072, UF Mustang Sally 20J, a September 3rd daughter of Black Watch 18E, exhibited by Erica Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Second, and your reserve senior full-blood heifer calf is entry 4056. This is UF Miss Frosty 6E, a September 2nd daughter of Black Watch 18E, exhibited by the University of Findlay, Findlay, Ohio. Third was entry 4088, shown by Kelly Shalver, Alvin, Texas. In the ring now is our Class 108 summer yearling females. These two females will also serve as your champion and reserve in this division.
Going to leave these females in the way they come in, and I think we got a really high-quality individual to win this class. I think she puts a lot of good together in terms of balance and design and her overall presence. She's very good in terms of her structure. She's a female that's got the rib and the body and capacity. I like her, the length of hip that she has. She's a wide-gauged female and just very broody in terms of her appearance. I think a really nice place to start. The heifer in second is moderate in terms of her kind. She's got some rib relative to her overall size. But with that, maybe not, she definitely doesn't have quite the pounds or the length of the heifer directly ahead of her, but just overall presence and quality, she falls a little bit short in that standpoint too. But two nice females, but I think a really good female to win this particular class.
Selected as your summer yearling full-blood Aberdeen heifer calf is entry 4069. UF Miss Wendy 58G, an August 29th daughter of TCS Picture Perfect 20F, exhibited by Ella Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Second in that class, in your reserve summer yearling full-blood female is entry 4086, REL Rosie, a July 19th daughter of LARR Dusty B566, shown by Jack Livestock, Roswell, New Mexico.
Just two females in this particular class, but I think a high-quality female to win the class. She does show in terms of presence and design and overall completeness. I like the mass that she has. She has some rib and some body and some capacity. Again, one that gives you a nice look from the side. Congratulations. Really nice female in second, too, in terms of rib and body and function. You like those things about her. I like the spring of rib that she has. Again, I'd like to stouten her up on that hind leg if we could. Just change the way she handles herself out of that hip and hind leg and down into her pastern. But certainly a big-bodied female that's very capacious.
Thank you, Judge. Placing first in Class 109 of your spring yearling full-blood heifers goes to entry 4076. This is ILC Just Right 8J, a March 2nd daughter of ILC Maverick, exhibited by Mark Phillips, Athol, Idaho. Your second place female is entry 4111. This is NXS Black Ice 1J9, an April 21st daughter of NXS Jax Wild 7E3, shown by Caleb Way, Summit, South Dakota. In the ring now is Class 110, Junior Yearling Full-Blood Heifers. These are females calved between January 1st and February 28th of 2021. Following this class, we will be selecting our Junior Yearling and Reserve Junior Yearling Full-Blood Champion.
Well, three very different types of females in this class, but to me, the combination heifer that does so in terms of length and structure is the heifer that wins this class. If she is a little bit leaner in terms of her overall presence, I really like this heifer in terms of the way she's designed. Compared to the heifer that's in second, this one is just sounder in terms of structure. You can see it in her top line. You can see it in the reach of her hind leg when she gets out here and goes. This heifer gives you a really nice balance from the side. I like the way her neck comes up out of the top side of her shoulder. I like her top line. I like her length of hip. And I certainly like the set to that hind leg and the way she gets sound around the ring here today. She's very sound and very fluid in terms of movement. And yet she's broody in her appearance. She's got a nice sweep to that rib cage. She's a female that's very capacious, and you like those things about her. You really like the look that this heifer gives you on the stand. Very massive in terms of the way she's built, in terms of rib and stoutness and thickness. All those things are really, really good. You get her parked, she gives you a nice presence from the side, especially up through that front end. When we ask her to go, you can see it in the middle of her back and kind of the way she comes out behind her shoulder and her hind leg. She's just not quite as fluid as the heifer that wins this class, but certainly a female that's packed full of overall product and rib and body and volume. I do think her added refinement in the way her neck's laid in her and the way her shoulders laid in her is more effective than the one here in third. I like this heifer in terms of the length of stride quite a bit. She's just a little rounder in the shape of that head, a little rounder and coarser in the shape of that shoulder. And this doesn't tie together quite as nice as the cattle directly ahead of her. But certainly there's a heifer that's really long, has some rib and some stoutness and some power too. Again, 3 high-quality individuals. This class is very competitive in 1, 2, and 3. Well, in this particular division lineup out here, there's 2 females that are polar opposite in the way they're designed. The heifer out of the first class is very striking and long and elegant in the way she's designed. I do like the freshness of her condition better, but with that, I just think there's more cow power in the one that's out of the second class here. just in terms of rib and body and depth and substance and flexibility and the way she handles her top line and her spine on the move. There's just more function in the heifer that comes out of the second class. She'll be your division champion here today.
Selected as your junior yearling full-blood heifer calf champion is entry 4059 UF Miss Brenton 05C, exhibited by University of Findlay, Ohio.
Again, for a reserve champion, these two females are opposite in terms of the way they're designed. You have more length and maybe more attractiveness in the heifer that comes out of that first class. And then the one out of the second class, you get in front of this heifer and look at the amount of depth of heart she has and the spring of rib and the thickness and the volume. I mean, there's a big difference in between these two cattle, and it's kind of whatever fits your program or desire. You know, I'm not going to stand out here and say that, you know what, I'm just going to judge them for how I see them today. And I do like the rib, the body, the function. I wish this heifer was a little more flexible in the way she moves. But the heifer out of the first class, you know, I would like to change her a little bit in terms of that top line and the way she handles that tail head when she's put in motion as well. So I'm going to go with the broodier female that's got more capacity, more substance, and overall dimension for your reserve champion. Again, very competitive, very contrasting in terms of type and kind, but that's how I see it today. Congratulations.
And selected as your reserve yearling full-blood heifer calf is entry 4106. This is HIC Portia 2J, a January 4th daughter of LH Mr. Jack 5A, exhibited by Kayana Marie Farmer, Gallatin, Missouri. Congratulations. We're now ready for Class 111 Senior Yearling Full-Blood Heifers. This is Class 111 Senior Full-Blood Heifer Calves, or Senior Yearlings. These two females will serve as your champion and reserve in the division. Following this, we will be selecting our Grand and Reserve Grand Champion full-blood female. Let's bring all of our divisions back to the makeup ring, please.
two females that are very close and very alike are going to be 1 and 2 in this class. The deciding factor for me is this: the rib and the body and the volume of the heifer that leads out second here. I do appreciate the amount of depth of heart that she has, the center body, the rib, the body, the depth of flank, and probably the added substance. Now, if you wanted to switch that pair, you maybe see a little more angularity in the one that's going to be second here today, but when you analyze her from her shoulder back, I just don't quite see the rib and the body and the volume of the heifer that's going to win the particular class. Again, congratulations, a nice pair of females, 1 and 2.
Placing first in Class 111 and selected as your senior champion yearling full-blood female is entry 4070 UF Miss Tasha 28D, exhibited by Ella Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. And second in that class is entry 4071 and selected as your reserve senior champion female is entry 4071 UF Miss Sparkle 37C, exhibited by Erica Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready to select your grand and reserve grand champion full-blood female. Let's bring our division champions back in the ring now. Your summer heifer calf champion is entry 4096, exhibited by Winston McGregor Anthony, Chichester, New Hampshire. Your junior full-blood heifer calf champion is entry 4079, exhibited by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. Your senior heifer calf champion is entry 4072, exhibited by Erica Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Your summer yearling full-blood champion is entry 4069, exhibited by Ella Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Your junior yearling full-blood female is entry 4059, exhibited by the University of Findlay, Findlay, Ohio. And your senior yearling champion female is entry 4070, exhibited by Ella Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and congratulate all of our division winners in our National Aberdeen Full-Blood Female Show.
Well, in the selection for the champion purebred female on this side of the ring, I think competition's been real competitive today. I think you've seen differences in terms of breeding programs and type and kinds. and I think you've seen a lot of useful cattle. As we start through the division champions, the heifer calf that won the first division, I think there's a ton of quality in this female. She's awful attractive. She's balanced, very nice. Her body and her pieces and her rib and her substance matches her body type. The females that out here, she's one of the soundest in terms of her feet and leg structure. I think as this one grows and matures and develops, she's going to be an awfully fun project and breeding piece for this family and for this exhibitor, because she's awfully good in terms of her type and kind. A little bigger framed heifer that comes next, and I don't totally hold that against her, but when you get her back out here, relative to her added frame size, maybe not quite the dimension as some of the other cattle, but that one won that particular class in terms of her structure, her design, her elegance, her straightness of lines, her balance, and overall attractiveness up through that front end. Out of the third division that came out, we have a female that the ones out here that maybe struggles the most in terms of structure is perhaps this female. You do like some things about her, though. She's got some dimension in terms of her top. She's got some width in terms of her hip. She's long enough in terms of the length of side. But in terms of structure, so we analyze this one on the move out of her hind leg and even into her knee. Maybe just not as flexible as some of the cattle on either side of her, but certainly there's one with some added length and added dimension. A heifer that puts a lot of really good pieces together for me is the one that comes in out of the next division. Maybe in terms of balance and design, and in terms of her rib and her body and her structure and overall dimension, there's one that's awfully complete. She gives you a very nice presence from the side. She's a female that you really like in terms of that top line, the length of hip, the set to that hind leg. She's very mobile in terms of structure. Just an awfully good breeding piece in that female right there. Just a broody female is the one that comes out of the next class. You appreciate this heifer just for her added function. You know, when you think cow potential, there's one that's very efficient in terms of converting forage into production, because she's got that added rib, she's got that added depth of heart, shape to that center body, depth to that flank. Again, in terms of structure, you really like this heifer. When she gets out and goes, she has some reach out of both ends of her skeleton, but I appreciate her most probably for the length of side and extension that she has. You know, comparatively, I'd like to see this heifer leaner in terms of condition. You can see her starting to get some chest floor on her. She doesn't have quite the femininity up through that neck and extension, but just in terms of function, that's a nice cow prospect. And the same for the female that comes out of the last division. Very efficient, very broody in terms of type and kind. Again, maybe not quite the stoutness of some of the other cattle out here, but in terms of brood cow look, she's certainly moderate in terms of kind and has that rib and body and volume. So again, I think there's some decisions to be made out here, but there's some females that suit me really well. I'm going to go pick you the one I like the best. Again, I'd like to thank the association for having me here today. The exhibitors have been extremely pleasant to work with here today. I think they've got a nice program growing here. And again, thank you so much for the opportunity. It's put your hands together one more time for a really nice set of cattle and exhibitors out here for your purebred show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Kyle Perez from Naravaisa, New Mexico. And selected as your grand champion, full-blood Aberdeen female, is entry 4069. This is UF Miss Wendy 58G, exhibited by Ella Patterson, Findlay, Ohio. Congratulations. Reserve in that division is entry 4086. This is REL Rosie, exhibited by Jack Livestock, Roswell, New Mexico. And your reserve national champion, full-blood Aberdeen female, is entry 4059. This is UF Miss Brenton 05C, exhibited by the University of Findlay, Ohio. Now we're going to Okay. On our Aberdeen show, we are going to do our cow-calf class first, and then we will break for pictures. So let's bring our cow-calf pairs in.
Just two pairs out here, but the pair that's going to win the class is extremely high quality individual. And you know, as you compare her back to some of the ones that we've seen here today, I think she's very, very good in terms of freshness, in terms of quality. You analyze this female, you love her design up through her front end. She's long-sided, she's square-hipped, she's long-striding when she gets out and goes. Very correct in terms of feet and leg structure. In terms of udder quality, you like her design of her udder. It's very youthful. There's nice spacing in between her teats, but she's got an extremely powerful, high-quality heifer calf that's at her side that's very typey in terms of its type and kind. Again, just a high-quality pair to win this particular class. Very efficient female that comes next. You like her for her moderation, and she's a female that's doing a very nice job in terms of a heifer calf at side. Maybe like to change that udder structure if we could a little bit. This female doesn't have near probably the length and overall quality of the one that goes ahead of her. But again, in terms of being an efficient female, she's doing a nice job with her calf. Again, nice set of cattle here in 1 and 2.
Thank you, Judge. winning Class 301 and selected as your grand champion full-blood cow-calf pair is entry 4107 TCS Patience J26H, exhibited by Tummins Cattle Company, Gallatin, Missouri, and your second place and reserve grand champion full-blood cow-calf pair is entry 4091 AD Annabelle, exhibited by Shaver Farm, Alvin, Texas. We now be breaking for photographs. We're going to go get all of our pictures taken of our full-bloods, and we'll be returning shortly to begin our national percentage Aberdeen show. Folks, if you need a cup of coffee, go grab a cup of coffee. We'll be starting back here in about 15 minutes.
this first set, just extremely impressive in terms of that hip shape and power. You folks in the stands can see from this view just the power and shape that these bulls got. And then they don't give anything up on structure. We like the structure in these bulls. They're soft made, they're good pastured. We ask them to get about the ring, and they do so with some flexibility. And then just an impressive set of scrotals under these bulls as well. And then you get them together, and I think they're very uniform, just a nice set of bulls. We get into our other set of bulls here, and just a really fresh looking set of bulls that are extremely structural sound. You know, you look at their scan data, and they've got some ribeye in terms of their weight per 100 pounds of weight, but yet they're lean and just present themselves as just a good solid set of bulls, again, that are very structurally sound. They've got some flex to them. You know, when you evaluate the two pens, and that's up for you folks to do as you evaluate the paper in your program, there's some give and takes when you look at the data and the paperwork and where you're going to place your preference and what you need back in your program. But again, just two solid sets of pens. The pen, obviously, on my left here has got the advantage in terms of weight per day of age, one of the heaviest pens we've seen today, and we appreciate that. But really like the freshness and soundness and smooth made we've got in our second run. I'll let Bob go out and select your champion reserve. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
And selected as your grand champion, 5 percentage bulls goes to entry 10-7-2-7.
Real nice set of 3 females on this side, and I think there's just so much quality in the young lady's heifer that's going to win the class. She does so in terms of a balance and an overall presence standpoint. Female that's very good in terms of design. You really like her in terms of her feet and legs and her structure. Just a real high quality individual, nice place to start. The red white face heifer that comes second's got a lot of mass and a lot of dimension, maybe not quite the structure that we have in our class winner, but certainly a female that's got a lot of top, a lot of hip, and a lot of dimension. As for the heifer that rounds out the class, one that's really long and elegant up through that front end, maybe like to give her a little more rib and volume and like to see her a little sounder off those hind 2 legs, but certainly really nice set of cattle, really nice class winner to start this show off with.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, back in our National Aberdeen show. We're starting our percentage heifer show. Placings in class 202 summer percentage heifers. This is also going to be your summer champion heifer calf. Is entry 4039. HSB Kishy 3K. She is a May 11th daughter of DCS Hermit 27H. Exhibited by Miranda Morgan, Utah. Second in that class is entry 4073. CLT Miss Red Perf 01K. She's a May 10th daughter of TCS Picture Perfect 20F. Exhibited by Patterson Family Farm, Findlay, Ohio. And third was entry 4014, exhibited by Bruno Farms, Springfield, Illinois. Again, your summer percentage heifer calf champion, entry 4039, shown by Miranda Morgan. And your reserve summer percentage heifer calf is entry 4073, exhibited by Patterson Family Farm, Findlay, Ohio. In the ring now is class 203. These are late spring percentage heifer calves. Once again, I'd like to reintroduce our judge again today. Judging our National Aberdeen show is Mr. Kyle Perez from Narvaez, New Mexico. Kyle is an animal science graduate from Kansas State University, where he was a member of their competitive national livestock team. Currently, he and his family own and operate Perez Herefords and Angus, Hereford and Angus breeders supplying seed stock through their 2 annual bull sales. February, they have a bull sale right there on the ranch. And in October, they haul their bulls to Columbus, Texas. He, along with his wife, Tanya, have twin children, Libby and Peyton, both 9 years old. Kyle?
Really high quality class winner here, a female that puts a lot of good together, one that's really good in terms of angles, her design, her balance, her rib, her body, her volume, her thickness. All this kind of comes together very nicely. She gets out and moves nice in terms of her structure. Just a nice place to start. A heifer that resembles her quite a bit is the one here in second. A heifer that is released out in her own makeup. A heifer that's got some rib and some body and volume. Maybe just a little sharper and a little quicker in terms of hind leg set. You see a little more cap a hawk there in this one. But you change that about her, you certainly like this female from a balance standpoint and some rib and some stoutness. We get into a pair of heifers here that maybe don't have quite the dimension as the cattle that go ahead of them. I do like the balance and the design and the length of this heifer over the one in fourth. I like the way her neck comes out of her shoulder a little more correctly. Again, like to stouten this one up if we could, maybe change that hind leg structure, but certainly a female that's very refined and very attractive. And the heifer that rounds out the class, again, a female that's very functional in terms of her kind. Again, if we could change that hind leg on this female, this give her more stability and a little more substance there if we could.
Placing first in Class 203 of our late spring percentage heifer calves goes to entry 4093, Key Keeping Up 253K, an April 12th daughter of EBC Ace X74, shown by Brecklin Smith. Second in that class is 4047, that's DR Annie Oakley 17K, an April 5th daughter of DR Sherman 94F, exhibited by Francisco Lewis, Parker, Colorado. Third entry, 4013, shown by Bruno Farm, Springfield, Illinois. And fourth entry, 4048, shown by Francisco Lewis, Parker, Colorado. Entering the ring now is Class 204. These are your spring percentage heifer calves. Class 204, spring heifer calves.
Again, a very challenging class here, but I think some really good cattle in it. The heifer that's going to win the class, I mean, we can always see that she's the biggest one out here, but you take that and put that to side and analyze them in terms of balance and design and the way their top lines are designed, the way their feet and legs are designed. To me, she's still the female that offers the most structure and integrity. I like her added length. I like her added straightness atop. I think her neck comes out of her shoulder very nicely, and I appreciate the set of that hind leg very well. Very nice place to start. The heifer that I really do like is the one that comes next. She's very capacious in terms of her rib and her body and her volume. I like that about her. She's a female that is very good in terms of that hind leg structure, and that's particularly where she stands ahead of the cattle that are behind her in the class, is the way she reaches and drives off that hind leg. I like her balance and her way she's designed from the side as well. Again, maybe not quite the length of the heifer that's directly ahead of her, but a real functional female that, again, you appreciate her for that set of that hind leg and the way she flexes. The heifer that comes next, you like a lot of things about this female. She's very youthful in terms of her appearance, a female that has some center body to her. Perhaps when you get behind her navel back is where I'd change her, maybe drop her down in that flank if we could, maybe see her just with a little more stability as she takes a step off that hind leg. But again, a female that's presented very nice, high quality female. The one that comes next, again, a heifer that you like her for added length and her added extension that she offers. A female that is very youthful up through that front end. Perhaps when we analyze this female, like to see a little more length of hip in her, and again, maybe see her take a little more correct stride off them hind two if we could, but certainly really youthful female there as well. The pair of cattle that come here next, both of them are very similar. Females that are very straight in terms of their lines. Perhaps this heifer here, this like to gauge her a little wider and see a little more substance from right behind. Young man's heifer, again, very striking from the side. Again, you get behind this heifer in front of her, she's a little narrower gauged, not quite as much overall capacity as some of the other cattle in the class.
Class placings in Class 204 of our national percentage Aberdeen Heifer Show. First one to entry 4012. Bruno Farms Casino, a March 16th daughter of TCS Gambler 27G, exhibited by Bruno Farms, Springfield, Illinois. Second was entry 4078, ILC Kiwani, a March 3rd daughter of Duff Red Raider 2010, exhibited by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. Third was entry 4011, shown by Wyatt Brock, Spring Hill, Kansas. Fourth, entry 4035, shown by Hannah Hoffman, Whitewater, Wisconsin. Fifth, entry 4067, exhibited by Rihanna Nickel, Maud, Oklahoma. And sixth was entry 4066, shown by Rhett Nickel, Maud, Oklahoma. Placings in that class are 6, 4, 1, 2, 5, and 3. In the ring now is Class 205. Class 205 junior percentage heifers.
Really nice heifer to start the class with. Very, very correct in terms of her kind. I like the elegance that this heifer has. She's very proportional. I love her rib and her body and the way her body type matches herself. She's got a nice springer rib. She's deep in that flank. Again, she's very good in terms of her feet and legs and structure. Just a high-quality individual to win the class. The Baldy female that comes out second has more dimension to her than the one in third. I like her width at the top. I like the width back into her pins. Perhaps we'd like to see this heifer sounder in terms of her hind leg structure to rival that heifer that wins the class, but certainly a good female that's got some product in her. The heifer that comes in third, again, very youthful and very striking up through that front end. Again, maybe not gauged quite as wide, not quite as much volume and capacity, but certainly a good female that's very striking up through that front 1/3.
Placings in Class 205 are first was entry 4064, ILC Kokomo 3K, a February 26th daughter of Duff Red Raider exhibited by Miranda Morgan, Utah. Second is entry 4044, DR Cookies and Cream, shown by Francisco Lewis, Parker, Colorado. And third was entry 4064, Soul Kiss 247K, sold by Sullins Ranch, Maud, Oklahoma. We're now ready to select our junior calf champion and reserve.
Really nice three females that come out here. Again, they're very different in their type and kind, and I'm going to describe them. The one that won the first class, really stout and powerful. You like that about her. She's big topped, big hipped, a lot of substance to her, a lot of substance of bone. Again, that one that's fairly sound in terms of structure. I mean, when you compare it to another one out here, this one maybe toes out just a little bit and gets just a little bit tighter in those rear pasterns if we'd want to be critical of her, and maybe doesn't have quite the body in quality and presentation. Really good female that comes out of that next class. Again, a bigger frame, long-sided heifer that's in the second class. Again, on heifers on either side of her, not nearly as sound in terms of her feet and legs, but certainly you like her added length and extension. The heifer that comes out of the third class is just very functional in terms of kind. She's very broody in terms of her appearance. I love the refinement and femininity she has up through that front end in terms of the center body and depth of her rear flank. And she's the most mobile heifer in terms of her feet and legs and her overall structure. Again, it becomes very close between the heifer out of the first class and the third class for your division champion. But I'm going to look at them one more time. Again, very applause.
Selected as your junior champion heifer calf is entry 4064. This is ILC Kokomo 3K, exhibited by Miranda Morgan, Morgan, Utah. Your reserve junior calf champion is entry 4093. That is Keeping Up 253K, exhibited by Brecklin Smith. Single entry in this class.
Baldy heifer, that single entry here is very useful in terms of a kind. I like the broodiness that she offers up through her front end. She's a long-sided female that's got some added length of top and levelness to her top line. Again, maybe not perfect in terms of her hind leg set. Maybe like to give this heifer a little more body if we can, but that's being a critical female that has that added length and attractiveness from the side. A good female to be a single entry here.
Again, single entry in our National Aberdeen Percentage Female Show goes to entry 4010. This is TCS Breeze 25E. She's a November 3rd daughter of TCS Making Money 20U, shown by Wyatt Brock, Spring Hill, Kansas.
Back on the Aberdeen side, in the percentage show, I think just a beautiful place to start this class. Heifer that has a ton of presence out here. She's very fresh in terms of her condition. She's right in terms of her rib and her body and her volume. She's really maternal and you know, still stout enough, but still so maternal in terms of her muscle shape. Love the length of hip, the set to her hind leg. Again, just very well managed and very fresh in terms of condition. Extremely nice prospect to be a class winner. The heifer that is very good is in second as well. This heifer in second is very sound in terms of feet and leg structure. I like the dimension that this heifer has down her top. She's really powerful in terms of hip and stifle. She's a wide-based female. Perhaps the difference in these cattle is quality when you get off to the side and that center body and rib cage. This heifer, this doesn't nearly have as much center body or rear flank as the one that wins the class, but those are two nice females to be first and second.
Selected as your senior heifer calf champion is entry 4097. That's TCS Miss Lady 1D, exhibited by Carson Jace Beverland, Gallatin, Missouri. Congratulations. Second in that class was entry 4026, shown by Fanning Cattle Company, Harrodsburg, Kentucky. And that female will be your reserve champion, senior heifer calf champion. Congratulations. Over in our Aberdeen side, this is Class 208, Summer Yearling Percentage Females. Class 208, Summer Percentage Heifer Calves. 2 entries.
them and see what you guys are looking for and what fits your programs. But I think just a solid set all the way through. We start down here with that first pen that came in. You know, calves that obviously give up some weight per day of age, but in terms just of some muscle shape and dimension, you look at these calves and they've got that. They balance up well, just a really nice looking set of calves, and again, they get out here and move around the ring and they're sound. Come into our second pen, and obviously the highest weight per day of age set we've got today, bigger frame type cattle, and that's okay for me. They're performance type cattle, long spined, got some shape and muscle to them again. You know, there's one in there that we maybe like to change structure ever so slightly, but just overall as a pen, I think those are adequate in terms of their soundness and structural integrity, and just some bulls that with their power and growth do offer some look and performance to them as well. We get into our third pen, and here's a pen to me that just balances up, just not only in terms of the type of cattle we've got, the profile, as we look at those calves, they've got some muscle shape and dimension. Then you pull out your paperwork and look at their data, and those calves bring some data to you and some positive traits across the board. Again, balance out, very uniform, good structured type cattle, and still offer some muscle and shape. And we come to the last pen that comes in fourth. There's a really stout set of bulls, some bulls that are just big topped and big in terms of their rear end, calves that offer some structural integrity and some look to them. Maybe a nickel frame score smaller than some of the bulls right ahead of them, and give up a little bit of weight per day of age relative to the two pens in front of them, but a really attractive, highly presented set of bulls. Congratulations to all these exhibitors on a really high set of class. I guess for today, for Bob and I, the one that just balances everything up is going to be the one out of our third class. They're going to win this one. We're going to come back to the second ones for second. Your fourth pen will be third, and we'll come back down here. But a solid set all the way through. Congratulations to these exhibitors.
On the Aberdeen side, there's two females out here in this class that are polar opposites in their design and their overall qualities and their strengths. So you got to weigh those back and forth. But to me, the female that strikes me is more maternal. Female that strikes me is more correct in terms of rib shape, and this more maternal and overall aspect is the one that's going to win the class. I like the youthfulness and the got a nice shape to her center body. I love the length of side that she has and the length of hip that she has. Even though she's not perfect on her hind leg set, I still see a leg than so the heifer that's in second. The heifer in second is presented to the nines, and if you would give this young man a nice job for his efforts out here, he's done an extremely good job in terms of presentation. His female's stout. She's big top, she's big hipped, she's got a lot of substance of bone. Perhaps for me, in terms of a female quality, so maybe just a little too straight and posty off that hind leg, and maybe not quite the length and broodiness of the heifer that goes directly ahead of her, but a good project for this young man, and I'm proud to see the exhibitor out here. Give him a round of applause for his efforts today. Again, a top pair of females on this side that are very contrasting. They each have their strengths and differences, but I'm going to go with the most maternal female of the pair, a female that's very sharp and angular up through that front end. I like this heifer in terms of her rib and her body and function. She's very fresh in terms of condition. She's one that offers more refinement about that head and neck. She's a female that's very correct in terms of her added balance. It goes with her rib shape and her volume and capacity. She just strikes me as one that's very maternal in terms of her type and kind. The young man's heifer that comes next is definitely stouter. She's got more hip, she's got more bone, she's got more substance, she has more weight, and she's got more length. But with that, maybe a female that doesn't lay into that shoulder quite as nice. She's not as refined when you analyze her in terms of female qualities, but I do think there's definitely enough more dimension and bone and stoutness in this female to get over the heifers that are in third and fourth. The heifers that are in third and fourth are a good type of cattle. I like the heifer in third. She's got a nice presentation to her. She's a female that's got some rib and body to her. She reaches out nice off her hind leg. Maybe when you get behind her, a female that's not based quite as wide, you look at her from the profile here. I'd like to drop her down. Has done a nice job with this female. She gives you a nice look from the side. Congratulations. The young man that comes around fourth, again, in terms of presentation and quality, doesn't quite rival the cattle directly ahead of her, but certainly a female that has some attractiveness up through that front end, maybe from her shoulder back. There's not the depth of flank and structure correctness that we see in the other cattle. Single entry again, but a high quality one in that regard. A female that's just so broody in terms of her design. She's refined up through that head and neck. Her shoulder lays into her nice, huge rib cage in her. Like that depth of flank and length of hip that she offers. Extremely nice single entry here to win her class.
Again, single entry in our Aberdeen show. This is entry 4041. A February 19th, 21 daughter of Conley South Point. This is DCS Jennifer 3J, exhibited by H. Slawbar Livestock, Banner County Ranch. On the Aberdeen side, we're now ready to select our junior yearling and reserve junior yearling champion, followed by the selection of our grand and reserve grand champion percentage female. Let's bring all of those division and reserve divisions to the makeup ring, please.
Our class winners and our seconds that come out here, they're very useful cattle. There's differences in these class winners, but yet they're very much alike. Females that are very refined and have that mama cow look to them. They're very broody in terms of their appearance. I like the rib shape and structure and utter integrity that they have to offer. But the heifer that wins the second class, I just see a notch more overall correctness in terms of her top line. She's just a little more put together, and her length of top, her depth of flank matches her forerib just a notch better. The one that comes out of the second class will be your division champion here today, followed by the one that came out of the first class. Again, congratulations to these exhibitors. Well, on the percentage Aberdeen side here, I've been very pleased when we get our class winners back out here. And I think as you go through there and look at the class winners and look at their structure and look at their type and kind and their balance and their rib and their body and how that blends and comes together, and they still have a broody cow look to them. You know, I think whatever breed of cattle you're judging or you're breeding, I mean, that's the goal, is to put function and quality in the cattle, and I think you breeders have done that. Again, I'm not going to go through and describe each one of the cattle, but I think you can see them from the standpoint of their completeness, their structure, integrity, and their overall capacity. There's two females that I'm going to describe out here that I think are very competitive for this division champion or overall champion, and it's one out of the third class. I really like this heifer in terms of her presence, her design, her uniqueness in terms of balance. She's stout in terms of structure. She's got some dimension to her, and yet she's so fresh in terms of condition. Her body type matches her very well. I think a highly presented female. The heifer that comes out of the last class, I see a brood cow look in this female. I love her rib, her body, her function. Again, she's very maternal up through that head and neck. She's clean into that chest floor. Love the sweep of rib and the lower flank that she has. Again, that one that's really stout or sound in terms of structure. As we compare the two cattle, she's maybe not gauged quite as wide as a heifer that's in the third class and maybe doesn't have quite the substance of bone, but I think those are two awfully nice females. Again, the heifer calves are awfully nice in their own right, and the heifer that's out of the third division or the fourth division, loved her for the length of side that she has. Maybe just not quite the rib and body and volume of the heifers on either side of her. So with that said, I'm going to look at them one more time. Again, I want to thank the association for everything they've done for me here while I've been here, and then, you know, they're big supporters of my wife and her business in terms of the marketing program, and our family surely wants to thank the association for the opportunities that you've given us. And again, congratulations to these breeders. Again, get through the pens, talk to these breeders about their programs, and thanks again for coming to the National Western Stock Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's put our hands together and thank Mr. Kyle Perez, Naravaisa, New Mexico, for evaluating your National Aberdeen Show. Selected as your grand champion percentage female is entry 4097. This is TCS Miss Lady 1D 42J, exhibited by Carson Jace Beverlin, Gallatin, Missouri. Congratulations. And your reserve grand champion female is entry 4063. This is DCS Just Because, shown by Miranda Morgan, Morgan, Utah. Congratulations.
Well, let's give these exhibitors a big round of applause. This is an impressive set of bulls out here in front of us right now. But when you really start to analyze this group of cattle out here, you really got to appreciate just a few little things that you can nitpick every one of these pens. But as a whole, there's 9 bulls out here that I think anybody in this crowd could go back to their pen and buy and take home, and you'd be very pleased and happy with what you're getting. So with that being said, this set of bulls, you really like them on paper. You like their amount of growth, and their ultrasound data is extremely good. Big rib-eyed cattle, really good on their scrotals, good on their feet and legs. Really a nice set of calves. The middle ones, you come in here and you maybe like the uniformity just a nickel better than the one here in the first hole, and you really like the length of body, the stoutness of hip. You get around behind these cattle, and they are big-hipped. They carried that down to their lower quarter, set on an excellent set of feet. You really like the way they're made on at the ground. Really good foot size, really an impressive set of cattle with good ultrasound data and performance. Really like that pen. The next pen that comes in, we got 2 black bulls and a red bull. Really like the black bulls. Really good in their structure, big hip, lots of muscle. Read good on paper as far as ultrasound and weight per day of age. Excuse me. The red bull gets a little bit troublesome for us at the ground. Maybe just like to give him a little more flexibility in his pastern and hock, but truly a powerhouse bull when you get behind him. He is extremely stout, very good calves. So with that being said, we're going to start with the middle pen. Then we're going to go here with number 2, and you'll be number 3. Let's give them another round of applause. That's an impressive set of bulls.
A real logical place to start in the pair show here. This pair is very unique in terms of type and kind. Not only is a female very useful in terms of her broodiness and her structure integrity, she's really good in terms of udder quality, but the powerhouse bull calf that she has is impressive. He's really got some reach off that hind leg. He's got a lot of dimension down his top and big old hip in him as well. Just a very, very useful pair. We get into a pair of cattle here in 2 and 3 that are greener in terms of their body condition, females that like to see just a little more fleshing ability in them. But I do see a notch more quality in the calf in the second pair here. I see a little more growth and a little more length and maybe a little more substance in this heifer calf, perhaps. But a real nice set of cattle all the way through. Been nice projects for these exhibitors.
Thank you, Kyle. Your grand champion percentage cow-calf pair goes to entry 4098. This is TCS Jordan 5A 21H, exhibited by Kayana Marie Farmer, Gallatin, Missouri. And your reserve grand champion percentage cow-calf pair is entry 4085, exhibited by Aubrey Prince, Roswell, New Mexico. Third in that class is entry 4087, exhibited by Colby Prince, Roswell, New Mexico.
Well, for your Supreme Champion in your purebred show, we got 3 high-quality individuals out here that have a lot to offer to your breed and your genetic base. The bull is so sound in terms of structure. He's massive, he's rugged, he's deep, he's thick. He gives you a nice balance from the side. Just a really nice individual that's got a lot of breeding flexibility. The champion, I guess, single female, again, one that's very unique in terms of balance and design and rib and structure. You like a lot of things about her. And then the pair, female that's just got a lot of production to her. She's really sound in terms of structure. She's got an extremely high-quality heifer calf beside of her. So I'm going to look at them again some more, but again, I wanted to describe them. I think you got 3 individuals that represent very well out here. They all have a lot of flexibility and breeding and marketability behind them. Again, give these exhibitors a round of applause. Outstanding trio of animals.
Well, folks, I know we've said it before, but just impressive. You know, I was when I found out I had the opportunity to do this, several years ago, Bob, I'd come out and help Bob, or we had Charlotte pens out here, and Bob and I would swap help. So it's not my first time in this Semitol ring. I spent a lot of time with Bob out here helping him show his pens, and always impressed with the quality. And as I get out here and have the opportunity to evaluate those, I'm certainly not disappointed. I didn't think just not only the bulls we have standing out here, but the bulls that went back to the pens. Just quality, and again, we've said it before. Take the opportunity, reward these guys for the time and effort and expense that they've put in to exhibit these bulls and bring them for your evaluation. As Bob said before, if there is not a bull out in that last class that you guys can't use, I guess I'd have to argue with you. Just tremendous set all the way down. I'm going to start off with our first pen up here. We didn't have an opportunity to talk about them. Our next pen came in as they left, but awful impressive. We started this particular division, and I told Bob when these came in, I said, man, this is going to be fun again, because you look at these calves, they're uniform. Obviously have the age disadvantage here, but you project these calves out to put the age and maturity that we've got in our other 2 pens out here. Just good in terms of their scrotal, good in terms of their structure, offer a tremendous look, and do that with some shape and muscle and some structural integrity. So we apologize for not talking in class, because you're certainly worthy of that and worthy of that more in competition, that particular class. We talked about our second pen. That was a really tough class. We had some differences in type and kind. Bob and I decided we'd go with the pen that was the most balanced, the most uniform in terms of just their makeup. And then one thing we really appreciate about this particular pen is you get your paperwork out, extremely balanced just in terms of their numbers and how they put things together. And again, some bulls that offer some muscle and shape and are sound, and as we ask those bulls to get about the ring. Our last class, this pen that came out of 3 really extremely good sets of bulls in that particular pen. Bulls, again, that offered some muscle and shape and structural integrity. They all kind of balanced up the same in terms of their paperwork on paper, and we just felt this pen was the one that just kind of outpowered the other 2 in terms of just true muscle shape and dimension, and then did it with some structural integrity and foot size and give you a really good look. So I'll let Bob go out and select your champion. We'll bring a second or third in for a second evaluation. Again, give all these guys a big round of applause. Tremendous set of bulls. Your champion pen of 3 bulls this year for the 2023 National Western Stock Show Purebred Semitol Show goes to entry 1916. The pen brought to you from the Genetic Clusters, Tecumseh, Nebraska. Congratulations. All 3 half brothers, or possibly 4 probably. These are all Remedy sons, and a great today
Again, on the percentage side for your Supreme Champion, I mean, it's awfully close and competitive because all three of these exhibits are such high quality and do so with authority. The bull has just got a lot to offer in terms of the way this guy's designed, his quality up through that front end. He's huge rib caged, tremendous stifle and set to that hind leg, big in terms of testicle size, and does so all this with a lot of presence and style and completeness and structure integrity. The quality is just unrivaled with the heifer that comes, that's your champion female. So elegant in design, she's beautiful in terms of top line and rib shape and structure. This extremely quality female and just so well presented, high quality female there. And then your pair is just so productive and effective in the way she's designed. She's doing a nice job with that bull calf. And again, this a nice representation all the way through this breed. Again, it's tough for me, and it's maybe unfair to some of these individuals to have to do this because it's tough. I mean, how good these two individuals are. But I'm going to go select one I think's this got tremendous future. Both of these individuals up here, the heifer and bull, the sky's the limit for what they can do in terms of their direction and focus in this particular breed.
We're back over here in the Semitol side, and I just want to reiterate what Chad said. Extremely pleased with the quality that the breeders brought out to us today and yesterday. Absolutely wonderful. I just admire all the hard work you've done, and you know, I lived this for a long time too, and I know all you guys are standing out here with butterflies and wondering who's going to get the next nod, but an impressive set of bulls all the way through. Please go out and talk to these guys because they put a lot of time and effort in this, and they deserve. There's tons of bulls out here that'll work for everybody, and whether it's the high numbered, high performance, whatever you're looking at, you know, we got bulls out here that I am truly impressed with the quality. And with that being said, Chad's going to go out and select your reserve champion 10 of 3 purebred bulls, and then we'll give them all a big round of applause.
Okay, on our Aberdeen side, our final selection day is our Supreme exhibit. And in our full blood exhibit, entry 4049, UF Legend 05J, exhibited by the University of Findlay and Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho, will be selected as your Supreme exhibit in the full blood division. And in our percentage show, entry 4083, DCS Justified 216J. This was exhibited by Idaho Livestock, Hayden, Idaho. That will be your Supreme percentage exhibit. Congratulations to both the University of Findlay and the Idaho Livestock for their supreme exhibits. In our Aberdeen National Show, there Get a Sire, which includes 3 animals by 1 sire, may be represented by both sexes. Your champion Get a Sire is on FCC SFR Legacy 2E, exhibited by University of Findlay, Ohio. And your reserve champion Get a Sire, exhibited by Tummins Cattle Company, Gallatin, Missouri, on JH Mr. Jack 5A. We're now doing the produce sedan. This is 2 animals by 1 cow, out of 1 cow. 2 animals out of 1 cow. In our produce sedan show, Okay, our final two classes. Today for your National Aberdeen Show, your produce sedan was won by Idaho Livestock, and your best 6 head first went to Tummins Cattle Company, Gallatin, Missouri, and your reserve Panna 6 head was shown by University of Findlay, Ohio. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our National Aberdeen Show. Thank you for your attendance, and we look forward to seeing you right here at the National Western next January for your National Aberdeen Show.